quite a build-up. Thank you. Good evening, Madam President, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. When I moved to London, I thought it was going to be like a movie. I thought I'd live in a beautiful townhouse, maybe Chelsea or Notting Hill. I thought I would frequent wine bars with my glamorous friends. And I thought in these wine bars, maybe I would catch the eye of a handsome off-duty pilot. Instead, I lived in Zone 4, pretty much Hertfordshire. I lived in a small flat with 3 other people. That's right, there were 4 of us squeezed into this tiny little flat, which was above a restaurant. This restaurant loved having parties every night of the week, loud parties after hours. And the smell from that restaurant used to permeate every item of clothes I owned. And the noise from their parties would make the walls shake with the vibrations. I had friends. Yes, I had friends. But I lived with some people who were inconsiderate, disgusting. Maybe I had too high expectations, okay? But chain smoking, with all the windows shut, or leaving a chicken carcass in the microwave, is that for storage? Can someone tell me? What is that about? I mean, all of this meant I felt I was not living my best life. I felt like I wasn't at home. And to be honest, I felt lonely. However, I answered an advert for a Befriending the Elderly scheme. And this, I'm overdoing the body language here, open the door to an experience. I need to go bigger, don't I? An experience that has stayed with me the rest of my life. So when I met Mrs. Gibney, she was 90 and I was 25. And it turns out a 65-year age gap is actually pretty good when it comes to friendships. I think Rod Stewart probably thinks that whenever he meets a woman. We didn't get off to the best start when we first met because she said to me, "Are you from social services? What is it you're here for?" And I had to explain I was here to be her friend. But it turns out this was actually just a learning about her personality because she had this tough Cockney exterior. Within that, she had a warm heart, which I got to know. We broke the ice on our first meeting because she went through all the photos of all her family in her living room. She picked up a photo of the Statue of Liberty. She said, "Oh, this is my granddaughter." I was like, should I laugh? And then she squinted and she went, "Nah, it's that green thing in America." I went to see Mrs. Gibney regularly over the next few years, and I got to know her as a friend. We used to sit in her kitchen, have cups of tea, we would talk about our lives. She told me all about how she grew up in the East End of London, and she was the first person in her street to have an oven inside their house. So the whole of the neighbourhood came round, had a good old look. Ooh. So she was like the celebrity of her street. When I was with Mrs. Gibney, I felt at home and I felt grounded. Also, I felt nourished. Now, I don't know, some of you here tonight might have lived in London or are from London, but I think generally you have your own personal experience of London. You have your own corner of London, and it's very much distinct compared to in relation to who you meet and your overall experience there. And for me, I thought I wanted something glamorous, and I think what I wanted versus what I needed was something very different actually. So I went to London with this view of wanting an exciting and glamorous life, but it turns out really what I wanted was a cup of tea over a glass of wine, a friendship over an off-duty pilot. Although saying that, if anyone knows of any pilots that drink in Worthing, just let me know, okay? Mrs. Gibney passed away at the age of 94, a long time ago now. But I learned from that experience that the best thing about London wasn't London, it was finding a good friend. Thank you.